Welcome back. Finals time here at the JakeDude Invitational. Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, Josh, Zoinks, Hiebert, where we have TTV squaring off against MILLI. And this is a draft format event, which means in the finals, MILLI's going to get the first ban on a Pokemon and the first pick of a Pokemon. Then TTV will get 2 picks. Then MILLI will get 2 picks, TTV 2 picks, and we're going to go back and forth until they fill out their rosters of 5. Let's jump into that graphic real quick here for Game 1 as they have locked in their choices and they're getting ready to play the game. Zoinks, what do we see and what is going to be some key factors based on these decisions?
Well, we got MILLI banning off that Serena. I didn't have the benefit of watching any more MILLI games throughout that bracket. I'd be really interested to see if this Serena was just a constant ban for them. That's something we get to see in a lot of tournament metas where banning is actually allowed, is that we see some teams just have a comfort ban. All of the time, they immediately lead with that. And a Serena ban instead of a healer really makes me think that potentially is what they want to do. Formulate their strategy around the enemy team never having that Pokemon. But that being said, we have the Serena ban, followed in turn by TTV banning Wiggly. This is 2 Pokemon that have insane amount of CC ability. MILLI in the amount of Grassy Glide and just their Unite move that they can get up super fast, and then TTV with that Sing. So, yeah, a lot of CC options off the board immediately, but not really traditional first bans.
We've seen a lot of support hate in the last semifinals there, but TTV with that Wigglytuff ban means it opens the door for MILLI to finally put an Eldegoss into the game here. But what does that do? TTV doesn't necessarily have to be that concerned about Blissey, because the other team's either going to go double support and sacrifice their ability to actually pick up KOs, or TTV is going to be able to free roll it late, so TTV able to take another CC'er and a heavy attacker damage dealer there in Pikachu.
Yeah, it's true. It hurts me to hear you say that, doobsnax. I know you're a fan of the Blissey bops, making sure you get those KOs on Blissey. So it hurts to hear that, but yes, you are lowering your ability. I think another really interesting point here is that the Lucario pick from MILLI forces TTV to have something to contest in the top lane. MILLI bans the Serena and gets the Lucario pick, meaning that leaves pretty much only one viable option for solo top lane. Pretty confident Zeraora was banned in this tournament. Don't quote me. But picking up that Greedent pick makes them have a really nice threat. Greedent becoming more and more popular. Those nerfs certainly did something to Greedent, but I think that Pokemon in that solo top lane, it's still a good role. You don't have to jungle invade, but oh boy, does it allow you to.
It has a lot of potential, and actually it has a lot of potential, and a team like TTV will see in a competent player's hands what that can do. Indy getting rewarded there with the pick 7 Blissey, but we jump back across the way to MILLI. They're going to choose the pseudo tank Mr. Mime and Cinderace to get themselves a ranged damage dealer of their own, and then of course TTV closing it out with Greninja.
Yeah, I really like MILLI's 8 and 9 pick here. I think that Mime doesn't play amazing into Wiggly. I think Mime is really outpaced by that Pokemon, but I think Mime plays incredibly into Slowbro. I think that is a really, really nice pick, a counter pick from MILLI that they got way late and was just a really nice responsive draft strategy. Picking up Cinder, opting in for that range instead of the Smite. They have the Lucario, that Pokemon, and that player should be able to handle it. TTV needs a Smite of their own. They grab a Greninja. Surf, still a broken ability.
And also, I can't forget that Unite move. If that's going to be in the hands of Toon, they'll be able to use that Unite move on the first Dreadnought. We've seen them do it before. They'll do it again. These teams are ready, and this action is getting ready to be underway here. And we're going to see if TTV, does they go with the traditional 1-1-3 as they have been, or are they going to just let Lutano run loose with the squirrel up top? I think they're just going 1-1-3 and saying, be darned with it, let's just push.
Yeah, I think so. Lutano going to play a little more basic. Wow, MILLI skipping every single minion along the way and just going to rush to that middle. I don't know.
Zugro gets it with the Slowbro there. The Slowpoke, as Indy and Goof again has to feel good getting their pocket pick here in Pikachu. And TTV always with the pressure, putting it onto Freak, Abel, and of course Mr. CT. We've seen their Mr. Mime before, a very competent Mime player, and they have to feel good about getting something familiar into their hands in this draft format.
Yeah, something I'm worried about in terms of this game. Oh, wow, Indy Bear tried to push really early, but is going to take a ton of damage. Has to eject button out there. What I was saying is I'm a little worried about TTV's team composition in terms of this Greninja. Greninja loves when all these Pokemon are peppered down and brought down to really low health before they arrive to the fight. However, the only Pokemon that can really do that at range is going to be Goof on this Pikachu. I'm not saying Goof can't do it. That Pokemon is extremely strong, and Goof is an incredible pilot of that mon, but it's going to be a tough go.
Lutano agreedent now as Uno and Yeet Fan, the Lucario and the Raboot, going to work their way down to maybe join up for the team as the team fight's breaking out in the middle. And of course, we continue to skirmish here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, every chance that TTV can get. Oh, wow. Nice KO from Toon onto the Lucario in the top lane. But every chance that TTV can get to push their advantage and make sure that they're always keeping MILLI on the retreat is a good one. Because you have to remember, MILLI has. They have that Eldegoss, which will give them some extra support. But with this tanky of a bottom lane, they want to keep that push on.
And the push is, in fact, on as TTV is slowly working their way back towards their own goal zone. And Lutana with the green running through the top goal zone here as Yeet Fan is just getting pressured by Lutano and Toon. Neither of them making moves down to the bottom lane quite yet. They're waiting for the upstairs bees. Freak is Bulbasaur, still Bulbasaur. Can't feel great about that. Going to go try and find an evolution somewhere, maybe a mob somewhere. And Zugrug's feeling the same thing.
Yeah, this bot lane has gone completely in the favor of TTV. They are doing an incredible job to the point where even Goof is going to be lowering the health of the minions for Toon. Just going to go help his buddy in the jungle when he needs. Wow, Uno just unable to move there. That was, yeah.
I think Uno might have DC'd there as that was a very odd turn of events as they just completely stopped moving, and hopefully that is not the case here as this is a finals match in the JakeDude Invitational. We're working through and the bees are getting melted and that Cinderace is still not moving as we have 7 minutes 8 seconds on the clock, Dreadnought on the horizon, and so is Rotom, if that is what tickles your fancy here in Game 1 of the finals. Abel getting pushed, and Zugrug closing it out with the Slowbro, and they're working on Mr. CT, who's able to get a berry and make it out just in time here. But yeah, that Cinderace is going nowhere, and I think they might have DC'd Zoinks.
Yeah, unfortunately, this has been happening a little bit with some recent bugs in the game, but they should be back in soon time, especially if the game hasn't been halted yet. But Toon hitting that level 9, getting that Unite move, and there it is. Wow, amazing splash damage, and gets that movement boost is not to be overshadowed whatsoever. Toon running up and doing a ton of damage. Zugrug rolling out the blue carpet, if you will, with that Surf, letting everybody get those scores in that bottom lane. Really nice move, and there's Lutano just having the time of his life. Running around the middle.
Just cruising around the map there. Goof able to take a KO on the Ivysaur, and that Cinderace still hasn't moved. I'm going to keep saying it. There we go. They're finally back into the action here. Mr. CD, got to give them a little bit of credit. The goal zone hasn't completely been buckled yet because of the walls they were putting up expertly, fending off the TTV push after they picked up Dreadnought. Here comes Lutano on Yeet Fan. Just scampering around, and Uno probably hungry to get into the action as they've been gone for about 90 seconds.
Yeah, Zugrug only level 7, trying to come around to that 8, but that doesn't matter in terms of Slowbro's health total. That Pokemon is so tanky and has that oblivious passive ability, going to be getting them so much health regen, maybe even out healing the Blissey in those end of the game stats.
Yeah, Indy just hanging out. Abel still running. I'm surprised they lasted that long, to be honest. And Yeet Fan trying to get down on Toon, but they are unable to as Toon gets out, and now Yeet Fan is getting counter pressured as all of TTV is going, and that's another KO by Lutano onto Uno. And Mr. CT going to try and hold down that goal zone, play some solid defense. Their team needs it, and they're there to execute. But Mr. CT on the button finally takes care of Lutano in that defensive foray here, as nobody has started on Rotom just yet. Toon content with just a core fish.
Yeah, Toon just roaming right now. I believe they have the Unite move online, so at any moment they can find a place to strike, launch a huge amount of damage to an entire group, and when MILLI is all stacked up like this, that is looking right for the taking, whether it be Zugrug's abilities or just a huge spike in of damage. But Toon opting to go back for that jungle. Nice Rotom take from MILLI. This could be that angle back into the game that they need.
Yeah, Uno finally feeling it, sending some Unite moves over. Hopefully they don't get caught here between Lutano, and they do. Just a big old belch, a big old burp taking them down as Freak is caught, and they go down to Goof here as Goof is alone on the Dreadnought, just working through it slowly but surely. Mr. CT going to come in for some hero plays here, and Yeet Fan going to try and buy them a little time as the walls are coming up. And now Toon has identified Yeet Fan and puts them down for the count as Dreadnought is just getting worked on. And of course, Toon again just sealing it up after picking up the Unite move from Indie Bear KO Shrika 3. And this is really the Toon showdown here. Looks like MILLI didn't pack their Toon world because they ain't touching him at all today.
No. It looks like a Toon highlight reel in terms of this entire game. Taking up some insane KOs, and also using that Unite move to perfection. Really impressive work, and was even able to use that Smirt Smite. Yeet Fan going down there meant that the biggest threat to the Dreadnought being stole was gone. That gives Toon an amazing chance to run in, and wow, poor Yeet Fan couldn't move that entire time while they just got smacked on by water and burps.
There you go. We're going to see a 47-point overdunk by Toon in that top goal zone Unite move. Uno's gone. Good Lord. What is happening here? MILLI cannot be happy how this game is progressing, as their players are quite literally showing up, getting melted, and going back into the home base zone here. Indy is just literally scampering around, just hanging out, maybe going back to base. Who knows here, as Lutano's just chucking berries everywhere, just having a good old time. And this is one of the times where you can tell that TTV is in the fun mode of the game, right? They kind of feel like they've got a little bit of control. They're kind of just, quite frankly, enjoying themselves.
That's true. Goof in a little bit of danger there, but needs to run, and wow, was able to get KO'd. Maybe having a little bit of too much fun staying in that team fight when already at such a low percent. Yeet Fan and the Eldegoss comboing for a really nice KO, trying to put themselves back in this game. Yeet Fan almost at level 12, going to be contesting Zugrug, who's still at that 11.
Good Lord, we're working through here, and that, you see those HP get melted as finally the Cinderace is able to take down Lutano, who is not belching there, and now Indy and Toon going to send Rotom down, and Yeet Fan survived that exchange there with Zugrug in the opposing goal zone, and now Yeet Fan's going to have to try to back a little too early there, and might have to pay for that last Zugrug backs off. They thought they were going to back off. look at just the posturing here.
Oh my God. Oh my word. Stop, you gotta stop.
And now Toon's in here, and there's the surf. Look at that combo, and Yeet Fan might.
Oh, poor Yeet Fan.
Toon picks up the second KO to make it a double-decker sandwich, of the MILLI sandwich here. And now we're just Unite moves in the middle. Zapdos is here. I mean, Lutano's kicking through this squad, and it's just finally, Freak is able to take down Goof here, but Toon's still up, and that means KOs are just raining in.
Yeah, that's the problem. 2 down on TTV, but Toon is still up, which is going to be a problem when it comes to the DPS and KO ability on the other side. Yeet Fan back in this fight, though, does not want to go back to base this time. It wants to make sure it gets out of this team fight, though. Zugrug, not wanting that to happen whatsoever, is going to try to...
Zugrug is just the protector. Nobody's allowed to warp away from me at all. They were literally on the pumpkin. Trying to base, and now TTV takes the Zapdos. This has just been this is a sitcom of a game for sure. And there we go. We see the MILLI concede the game. Wow. Where did that go sideways? Obviously the disconnect didn't help. Of course.
No,
of course
definitely
it didn't.
not. Yeah, that was a super unfortunate situation. And that being said, the scoreline 409-197 at the end of the game, not incredibly disrespectful or anything like that. I think MILLI's definitely held their own despite everything. It's just a few team fights were definitely going the opposite way. Not to mention that bottom lane early game coming out of TTV was so strong this game. Having that Zugrug, Indie Bear, Goof lineup, Zugrug at home on any of these main tank characters, and what Slowbro can do right now with these recent buffs is a crazy threat in that bottom lane. I would not be surprised if we see some draft strategy coming out of MILLI to prevent TTV from having that Slowbro on their side.
Absolutely. And Pikachu and Slowbro were their first 2 picks there that they had allotted to them. Now, I must say, Lutano on that greed looked very, very good.
Yeah, yeah, and we make a joke about it. We laugh because the character is derpy and hilarious to watch. But you have to remember, every second that Lutano is stealing from the enemy team by making them chase them through the jungle, getting those tiny little stuns and knockups when he's using his covet move. All of this is stealing time away from MILLI. And in a game like Pokemon Unite, where it is so fast paced, and if you are ever doing nothing on the map, you're doing something wrong. Lutano is earning so much value. It's just not exactly seen on the scoreboard, but it is seen in the end result of a victory or defeat. So, as much as we joke, it is an important role, and Gradient plays it extremely well.
It's felt throughout the entire course of the game, and Lutano was an absolute menace. That whole game, just kind of popping in, like you said, causing a little chaos, getting away, and in some cases, when they're finally over level, just belching the absolute disaster out of MILLI there. So game one's in the bag. TTV wins it. Just a good showing by them, and of course the unfortunate disconnect on the side of MILLI. So they're going to try and maybe reset the router, get geared up here for game two, as we are in the draft format. This is a JakeDude Invitational, game one of the finals to TTV, and we'll be back for game two of this best of three. JakeDude Invitational finals, TTV up a game against MILLI in this draft format event. We're in game two here. MILLI got the first ban, first pick in game one, so that means TTV is on the button, getting the first ban, first pick this time. Let's just jump straight to the graphic and start talking about how these loadouts are going to look here with these two squads. Zoinks, talk to me.
Yeah, TTV going to ban Eldegoss first pick. Like I said, a lot of teams, maybe even the majority of teams, considering this Eldegoss, the enabler of the 1-1-3 meta. It persists past Eldegoss, but definitely was what kickstarted it. Definitely started the fire. This Pokemon being the first ban makes a lot of sense. MILLI responding with that Serena ban again. Further just confirming to me that this is their ban. This is their auto ban every single time, making sure that they can have Yeet Fan on that Lucario in a winning lane in the top.
Absolutely. TTV going the first pick Pikachu, and they want that Pokemon in Goof's hands. Clearly, they've been having success with it outside of the draft format and inside of the draft format. So pick it now, lock it in, and move it on. Over to MILLI, though, counters with, as you mentioned, the Lucario and Wigglytuff, which is another bottom lane just pest. So TTV responds with a little CC in support of their own there, and that's Slowbro and Blissey.
Yeah, I think that what's interesting is TTV's first pick here of Pikachu. Really, I think this is a coin flip whether they pick Pikachu or Wiggly. Both of these just being some of the top tier Pokemon in their roles. What Pokemon do you not want MILLI to have? And they opt in for that Pikachu again, which makes a lot of sense. That bottom lane is so hard to win against a Pikachu. Pikachu not only charges that Unite move crazy fast now because of the buff, has really nice CC moves, but I often don't talk enough about Pikachu's range. Has one of the longest ranges of any Pokemon in Unite, making it have the just pure fact that it can do damage while staying safe. And in a tri-bot lane, when there's that many threats roaming around, that is so, so important. So picking that first pick, I think is a really, really smart move coming out of TTV.
Absolutely. To round it out here, MILLI goes Venusaur and Cinderace, getting those high damage outputs of their own. TTV closes their side out with Blastoise and Gardevoir, and MILLI with Mr. Mime. Something I'm noticing in the trends of the games we've watched here, TTV seems to pick up whomever there's jungling last. That's a big credit and a tip of the cap to Toon. They have so many tools in their tool belt. I mean, we've seen them on competitive play in non-draft formats, play Greninja, play Cinderace, play Gardevoir, play Decidueye, and having that many options at your disposal really means you can't cut off Toon from a good choice for them, or at least a comfortable one.
Yeah, that's true. Toon definitely a weapon of master with everything available to them. Gardevoir, Cinder, Talon, Greninja, Charizard sometimes. So yeah, that player is a jungle genius for sure. But I think MILLI actually had a really solid draft here too. Having that Cinder and Venusaur on their team gives them a little bit of flexibility. Either of those Pokemon can be run in jungle. We've traditionally seen that Venusaur run in the bottom lane, but it is not strange to see them in those camps knocking out those Bufalons and Ludicolo's. I think this is a really nice flex pick, especially at pick 6. It depends what TTV picks, where they land in that role. I'm interested to see Mr. Millie running the Mr. Mime and the Wigglytuff. Going to be a lot of CC. This is going to give them a nice advantage in the lane. The only problem is they just don't have that support Pokemon. TTV banning the Eldegoss and getting the Blissey pick is quite a bit of a blessing here. TTV is going to have that sustain, and they also have the tankiness. Millie is going to need to find picks and find them fast. Get those KOs immediately. Has to be the game plan for their team.
Absolutely. These teams are ready to go, so we're going to get down into the action here as it kicks off. TTV MILLI Finals, Game 2, Best of 3. And I immediately see the Blissey carrying that experience share here. Lutano going to go top lane with the Blastoise. We'll see how they can fare for themselves as they're going to be 1v1 versus the Lucario there, Yeet fan.
It's true. One fun thing you always see if players ever try out this draft tournament is players desperately trying to get their items correct before they enter in the match, not being able to play these normally. But hey, nice pickup on that middle Autono coming out of TTV, not skipping any of the camps, getting there just in time and still securing that experience. Nice work.
Oh, Abel's getting pressured, and they have to roll out to try and make it back to their goal zone. They do. Mr. CT and Freak are going to try to hold it down. CT gets chipped off before they can heal by Goof. And there you go. You love that early KO. It's all up top. Lutano KOs Yeet fan, the Lucario. And now TTV is feeling themselves. They said, we've played a whole tournament in this draft format, and we're liking these off-ball picks. Let's keep it going. Squad, Lutano just babysitting that goal zone as Uno pulls up. No disconnect this time, and they're going to help Yeet fan put some pressure on Toon. Certainly not late to the party there to give a little support to Lutano. Give them cover as they make it back to their goal zone.
Lutano is like a kid trying to convince his parents that he should be able to have a sleepover. See, guys, I can play other characters. I promise. They're good in the lane. But TTV doing amazing work all over and able to knock out that Jigglypuff still on that Pokemon is going to be an uphill climb to find that evolution. Mr. CT just lurking here trying to find a last hit onto this middle Autono.
And not able to get it as they are pressured out by Indy of all players here. Zugrug going to try and screen for Goof and buy them a little time and actually surfs towards CT, who's on the verge now. Abel back into the action, and Abel desperately needs to pick up a KO here and get to level 4. They do finally. Wigglytuff in the mix, and that Sing is going to be an impact on how this team plays this bottom lane. There you go, kicking off the Sing, going to try and catch somebody. It's Indy Bear. Here comes Mr. CT. Wall Confusion Blast going array there, going the wrong way, and now Millie forced to try and get back to their goal zone.
Indy Bear playing very aggro on this Blissey right now, trying to showcase that they do have the ability to play this character. Really, it's just a lot of stunting out of both of these teams for sure. But that level gap in this bottom lane is going in the favor of TTV, but not near as far as it was last game. They're keeping it still pretty even, and Toon is going to be hitting level 8 by the time that these second Bs are rolling around. If they can swipe these up before Uno, this could be a dangerous first Dreadnought fight at 7.
Abel jumping out with the Sing, but that means they won't have it for the Bees. Trying to put the pressure on. Nobody's down yet. TTV putting the pressure on. Zugrug just taking a nap in the grass here as Indy's going to babysit the Bees themselves. Mr. CT comes in. Abel going to have just enough time to get the Sing back up. And now they're putting the pressure, but nobody's down. They're just not able to get this TTV squad as Toon up top takes care of Uno. And Abel going to try and put the other squad to sleep down here, but not able to convert. And there goes down Abel to Goof, and now TTV is just putting the pressure on. They're down on the scoreboard, but not by much. But look at that experience disparity in the bottom of our screen.
Oh, yeah, at bottom and top all around across the board. TTV has these level end gaps, but right now, Millie pushing in to try to find a steal on this Dreadnought. And they find it. The Venusaur swipe. Incredible play from that team. All of a sudden, they're back in this game.
Yeah, the Venusaur was about to go down, Freak, but there you go. You saw Uno use their Unite move to buddy barrier them up, and that Solar Beam came through, and I think and sealed up that Dreadnought. So good little play, good combination, and good, well done on the mics. Here's Toon, though. Toon coming in. Mr. CT says, Toon, you're not going to get a streak on us down here. Going to get that KO for themselves as Abel and the Ivysaur come off respawn, and Lutano takes the Rotom in the face of Lucario. Yeet fan the Lucario, sending that down the lane, and now going to start taking their A-palms for all that hard work.
Yeah. Lutano saying, what? You got... Nice maneuver to let that Rotom walk.
Hang 10, my friend, sending with the surf. Lutano is sending that Rotom into the lane, protecting its ability to convert, and they do, and they are rewarded with Blastoise for that effort, as Lutano is feeling good in that top lane despite 3 players on the other team there. Just in the bees, Unite move, seals up a bunch of them, Abel getting pushed. They need a confidence booster here. MILLI needs to take them out for that, for just to get them off the screen for a bit, as Toon comes in and they're going to hold down that goal zone themselves, and we're just going to see some straight bullies between Indy and Slowbro here. Indy and Zagrug, the Slowbro, as they're trying to take down Mr. CT. Freak playing it at a distance.
Yeah, Freak playing this Solar Beam Venusaur really well. Every time that you just see that initial light beam go across your screen, you know that all of TTV's health bars are going to be at half. Yeetfan also getting a nice little jungle invade, going to buff that experience as much as they can. Experience much more even going into this 5-minute mark now. Goof trying to play a little bit safe here, but that Sing out of Asnable is going to be a danger.
Oh yeah, not enough defense there on that Pikachu, and they go down very, very quickly here. They're going to try and get back to the action as soon as they can. Look at that scoreboard, almost 100-point disparity here as we were prepping ourselves for that Dreadnought. Shows up 4:38 on the clock. Freak working through. They're putting some pressure on. Here comes Lutano using Surf to try and get in there in time, and they're getting picked off very quickly, and they go down, and now Dreadnought's kind of up for grabs as Goof is finally back in the action. They use their Unite move, and they take a KO on Mr. CT, and I don't know which direction that Dreadnought went. Mr. CT takes Dreadnought before getting KO'd by Goof. Are you kidding me? And now they're pushing into the goal zone, and they're going to be able to convert here and keep pressuring this lead, assuming Zagrug and Lutano can stem some of this bleeding. Yeetfan gets their tries to get their points in, forced to retreat. There goes Uno falling to the Lutano. The Blastoise now able getting identified themselves. Yeetfan darting in, darting out. Lutano putting the chase on, not quite able to reach, as now TTV says this is not the opportunity. Let's reel back a little bit, collect ourselves, and see what's next on our checklist.
Really nice Dreadnought team fight there from MILLI. We're able to secure it with that Solar Beam plus that Mr. Mime Snap, as well as just the Cinder, putting up tons of damage with that Blaze Kick. But the best part about that was they pushed that goal zone, but they only gave up 1 KO in that push, not giving TTV any angle to find a cheesy way to get back in. That experience lead is going to be theirs for some time.
I mean, poor Indy Bear evaporated there by the MILLI squad as they want this Rotom and send it down the lane. They're up 110 right now. So although they had a shaky start, they were able to recover not only in experience but slide this the goals in. And there's Goof putting the pressure on Freak in conjunction with Zagrug as they're sent them packing, and Freak just putting the pressure on themselves, trying to use that Solar Beam to send TTV scrambling, and Toon's getting into the mix here, working on Mr. CT, Abel, and Uno. Abel's on the verge, and there you go. Indy Bear goes down to the Wigglytuff, and Toon going to try and close it down on some other some opponents here, as now Zugrug's in the mix. They're trying to close it down on Uno. Pikachu closes it out on Wigglytuff, and now Toon and Zug going to buy some space down here in this bottom lane, as Zug's going to get that 40 banger in, and Toon's working on Mr. CT, finally peels away. Here comes Goof to get their 40. That's a Surf. That's going to eat up some time. Solar Beam comes through and stops Goof, though. Well scouted, well sought, and well shot by Freak as they send Zug packing too, and now what we thought was going to be a 40-point convert ends up falling just a tad bit short, and Zagrug forced to base here as we have 2 minutes 20 seconds on the clock, and it might come down to Zapdos.
Yeah, all that damage from that, not full team fight, but just little skirmish, is going to give that Dreadnought right over to MILLI. That's going to be 3 for 3 in terms of MILLI when it comes to these Dreadnoughts. Running into 206, they're at 175 to 105. Nice little initial damage out of that Freak. Freak is getting so much value out of this Venusaur. It's getting healed by Indy Bear, but that's making Indy Bear have to use these resources earlier than team fights so often.
Great Surf in there and forcing out the Unite move by the Wigglytuff to try and pick up Uno, and they're going to bully them down, and they are able to take out the Slowbro Zugrug. Now they're down a player, and they need that Zapdos, so they're working through and they're chipping in. Are they going to go for a back cap? No. Toon getting isolated out by Mr. CT. Indy Bear there to pick them up and keep Toon going, because they are pivotal to this push here, as we know. And there we go. Indy just chucking some. Is that an Egg Bomb?
Yeah, that's Egg Bomb Blissey.
Oh my goodness. Toon coming in on Mr. CT. Abel going to try and protect protect this goal zone here, as nobody's around Zapdos now, and these solar beams are firing through. Abel's going to go down to Indy Bear, the homicidally active and in-your-face Indy Bear with those egg bombs coming through. And now Toon is working, trying to keep themselves up and alive, as Yeet Fan has identified them for sure. Yeet Fan coming through, and finally Freak able to close it out on Toon. That's going to be a timer that I don't want to mess with. And by the time they get back in the game, 30 seconds left. Yeet Fan identifying Indy Bear, and they're putting the pressure on. And all of the team MILLI is around Zapdos now, and that's where we're going to start going to work.
Yeah, huge team fights all around, but at the same time, TTV was able to sneak out the points lead with a couple of backcaps. One from Lutano, one from Zogre, and an incredible Unite move for Lutano!
KO streak by 2 of Lutano on that 6 surf into the Unite move there, and Mr. CT going to try and do some Zapdos heroics as they're getting identified clearly by Lutano. That big surf and the blast comes through, and that closes it out. Lutano is looking cracked on the sticks with this big old turtle. They're, just keep the stick on me like Donatello, right? And there we go. We see another stuff through, and Abel goes down. Oh my goodness, all the streaks are rolling in for Lutano, and Zapdos is not even being dealt with here as they want to take care of Yeet Fan. Team comes through, and I didn't see any other points roll through, but we're gonna see how the scoreboard shakes out. Oh, is this it? Is that it? Oh no, just short. How did this shake out? I didn't even see anybody get for back cap points. Zoinks, I have no idea where this one's going.
Yeah, our only chances to watch these scoreboards run up and down, but a really impressive game for both these teams.
Oh, they got a back cap somewhere in there. We must have missed. Oh, well, it's clearly Lutano, right? Clearly Lutano getting that back cap on that. And that was just a well-scouted and just brilliant team fighting into the middle. I never even saw Lutano leave the mix to go convert some points, come back and just start raking through the other squad. MILLI, I feel like they just let that slip through their fingers like sand at the beach.
Yeah, a really well-played game. I mean, shout-outs to Freak and that Solar Beam. That Solar Beam comboed in with Yeet Fan's incredible Lucario E-Speed play is a nasty duo. We got Freak from the back, and we got Yeet in the front, and that is a devastating amount of damage. Shout out to them. They were making every team fight. They were making Indy Bear work overtime, and in the end of those team fights, they were making Indy Bear head all the way back to spawn again and again. But yet, in the end, even without a Zapdos, without a Dreadnought, TTV takes the win. Not getting any of those bosses. I think they only got the one Rotom too, but Lutano putting out an incredible performance says, if you're not going to worry about me, I'm going to be scoring in your face all the way up to 213 points. And with 3 other members of his team not even scoring once, I think that MVP crown might actually be deserved on this guy.
Oh, absolutely. Lutano's Blastoise looked clean all game long. And how about Indy on that double egg Blissey, something we haven't seen. He's a helping hand. Helping who? I'm helping myself to some KOs tonight. Egg bomb, baby. That's where we're going. And I have to tip my cap to Freak. I haven't seen Sludge Bomb, Solar Beam, Venusaur be that impactful. Everybody harps, Pedal Dance Giga Drain, Pedal Dance Giga Drain over and over and over again. But Sludge Bomb, Solar Beam looked really good that game. And I'm interested to see, or hope to see at least, Freak revisit that build for themselves later on down the line in a competitive environment.
Yeah, not to mention, there is status conditions in this game that we don't talk about very often. One of those being that Poison. Poison drops your SPDEF, or your special defense, down quite a bit. And guess who shoots out a ton of spike special attack damage? That's right. It's your Mr. Mime with those huge splashes. A Sludge Bomb comboed into a Mr. Mime wallbang. Ooh, yikes. Your health is not going to last long. So, yeah, a really fun team comp. Probably one you'd only seen created in a draft scenario like this. But who knows? You take this to ladder, you might see some fun results.
Absolutely. I mean, Solar Beam will punch a hole through your chest, son. If you line up and get squared up with that one. TTV ultimately takes it down 2-0 off honestly just Lutano. I mean, the other players were there. Right, the other players were there, but I mean, that was the Lutano show without a doubt in my mind, and able to seal it up for the team 2-0 in the finals of the JakeDude Invitational. But on behalf of Unite Mike's, Kirk, doobsnax, Dubé, Josh, Zoinks, Hiebert, thanks for being with us, and we'll catch you next time.